guys, so yeah, so we're going to do everything to do with the sacral area here. So we'll focus, obviously you do stretch out the other muscle groups as well and strengthen the other muscle groups, but what it basically, the sacrum needs to be supported by good strong muscles around here, but also at the same time we need to make sure that we're properly stretching. So a lot of the stretches that we will do today are mobilizing. You'll be like, oh, I didn't know that was focusing on the sacrum as well, but it does. So we're going to start by standing, which is quite nice, and we're just going to circle because we just want to start warming up the area in question. That's it, and then the other way. So just starting to mobilise through the hips, because remember your hips are joined, you know, like the old knees and toes, and the hips are joined to the pelvis. So what we need to do now, I'm just going to show you, is just come down. We just come down to here and we just tuck our tailbone under, and then we lift the tailbone back up again. We tuck the tailbone under, and again you can feel the back stretching as well. It doesn't matter if you arch your back up either, but just tuck the tailbone and then lift the tailbone. Tuck it under and lift. That's it. 4 more. And it doesn't have to be rushed. And then we're going to fold down a little bit more, but we keep the legs as they are. So you can put your hands here, wrap them around the back, rest them on your elbows. So you're just a little bit lower, and again, you can just feel the stretch around the lower back area. So just hold it. Perfect. Place your hands on your thighs, roll back up again and shake out. So now we're going to put our foot in this position. One foot's facing towards the wall, the other one's facing towards the front. And we're just going to push the hip out and back. So as we're pushing, that's it. So again, we're stretching through the buttock area, as if we're going to go into windmill position, which we are going to do. But at the moment I just want you to get used to doing this movement where you're pushing it back and back in and back out, like that. Perfect. So don't forget the sacrum has muscles coming in all directions, so by coming down a little bit further, you're stretching here between the quadriceps labortum. I can never say the word properly, but anyway, between the rib and the hip. So if I show you the movement, so you keep doing that, so you stretch down a little bit more. So as you're stretching here, you're pushing the hip out, so you're stretching through there, but you're also stretching here, and these muscle groups, they come down. Where do they come down? Towards the sacral area, then come back up. So you're still doing the same side. Now slide your hand down your leg, lift your arm up, hold it. Turn your feet to face forwards, place your hands on your shins, stick your bum up in the air, so one of your pretty looks. Bend your knees, place your hands on your thighs and roll back up and kick out again. Perfect. So we're going to do the same on the other side. Point the toe the opposite way, push your hip out and back. So what you'll notice is if you're really tight through your hip, that's the point that makes it really, you know, you can feel like, oh, that's working a little bit there. So first of all, we're literally just moving the hips. It's quite a good one for you, Sue, because again, we're working through the hip. Now, once you start feeling comfortable with that movement, start coming down a little bit. So you can just use your leg as a support, you know, with your hand, and down. Pushing it out, and then as you come down, just hold it a little bit, just feel the pull through here and between the hips, the hip and the ribs. So this time let's see if we can go all the way down. Go as far as you can, lift your arm up, Don't worry if you can't get your arm up, you can always put your arm behind your back, that's fine as well. Just hold it. Then bring your feet to face forwards, place your hands on your ankles. And then come onto your hands and knees. Perfect. Let me get this down so I can see what I'm doing. So again, we're going to do cat-cow, another sacral. So as you tuck your tailbone under, again you're stretching through here. So try and arch your back up as well, and then stick your tailbone up. I want you to focus more on the lower part of your body when you're doing this, making the movement more exaggerated. And then bring it back up. Nice one. Just a couple more. That's it. And now we're going to stretch out through the back a little bit. So your feet, your knees, sorry, hip width apart. And you're just going to come back into child's pose, but keeping your knees so they're hip width apart rather than wide to start with. Your feet at the back can stay hip width apart as well, so they're not coming together. They stay out, so then you have the position is like this, not like that. Go back as far as you can, just stretch. And then come up. Perfect. So the first sacral strengthening is obviously lifting the leg up here and just lifting it up and down. So that's all you need to do. So I'm going to turn around because you can see what you're doing. So so you've got the same leg, you're lifting it up and down. You keep your back quite nice and flat so you don't twist on your back. You just imagine you're doing a little bit of Pilates, you're trying to keep yourself in position. Let's do a few more. And then bring that leg down. We're going to do the same on the other side. So take the leg out, lift it up, and just literally lift it up and down a little bit. So we've got things activating through your buttocks, through the support network around your sacral area as well. A few more. Well done. So now take your knees out a little wider and go into child's pose again. Reach forwards and stretch. So don't worry too much about the arms coming all the way forwards because we are just sort of concentrating on the sacral area. If you don't want to stretch out, you can just bring your elbows in. Well done. So now I am actually going to face away because it's a lot easier to show you what we're doing. We're going to come onto our tummies. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some work where we're going to be holding the position. So you can put your head on your hands. And what we're going to do is going to work through the sacral area. So we're going to bring the heels of your feet together and lift off the floor, and then you're just going to hold it for maybe 30 seconds. Don't worry if you can't hold for 30 seconds. So you can feel the inner thighs, but also there will be, because you're slightly externally rotating your hip, lifting your feet slightly off the floor and then you bring it down. Well done. So what we're going to do now is bring the toes together, but take the heels out. I'm going to lift the one leg up and then lift the other. It doesn't matter if you're only lifting from the knees, and try and get your two big toes to touch. Relaxing your other feet. So just be careful you don't get too crampy. Heels are out. And then bring them down. Well done. So for your next one, you're going to lift the one leg off the floor, just the one leg, and holding it. Again for 30 seconds. Lift the leg up. Just breathe nice and slowly while you're in position. And then bring it down. Going to do the same with the other one, but just literally lift that leg off the floor. Try and keep the rest of your body nice and still, resting your head where you want to. Lift it up. Breathing. And bring it down. Well done. So now what we're going to do is bring the heels together, the heels and the feet together, and we're just going to try and lift our knees off the floor. Now in doing that you get tremendous tension through your buttocks, your hamstrings, but again your support network through the sacrum. So breathing nice and slowly. And then bring it down. So now we're going to bring the heels together, bending the leg. Again, toes are pointing out. Try and lift up. There's a lot of tension around the buttock area, but you will feel it squeezing through your sacral area. Breathe nice and slowly. Keep the pressure on. And then bring it down. Well done. Shaking it out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try and lift the upper body up and the legs at the side, the bottom as well. So just inhale. On your exhale, lift up. Then hold the position. Inhale and exhale. Just holding it. Squeezing. Keep going. And then bring it down. So the next movement we're going to do, I'm hoping you're still all there, is you're going to lift your legs. You're going to come up again in this position where your shoulders are up. Off the floor. Your elbows are down, lifting you up. You're going to lift your legs up. You're going to internally, so almost like bringing the heels together. Then you're going to turn it and external. So you're turning the heels in to almost meet each other, and then taking them, so the toes. So it's almost like big toes touch and then the heels touch. You're going to feel it around the sacral area there, where everything is starting to work, because we're doing strengthening exercises. The movement is slow. Slowly round, touch the heel. Slowly round, touch the toe. If it's too much being up, you can still do it lying down. And slowly bring it down. Well done. So we're going to come up onto our hands and knees, just nice and slowly, because you can feel you've done so much work through here. Going to arch the back up, tucking the tailbone under. Go back a little bit into child's pose, carefully. It will feel quite tight because it's just done a bit of work. And then come back and roll onto your backs. So the first thing we're going to do is bring our knees into our chest. Oh, it's harder than it looks, isn't it? I can feel that everything has been worked around here. We're going to bring our knees in. This is how we release through the lower back. And just roll around one way and then the other. Well done. So we're going to put our feet on the floor and we're going to come up into hip extension. So make sure when you're in hip extension you tuck your chin in and you take yourself up as far as you can. Now what I want you to do is to squeeze the buttocks together and release. Squeeze the buttocks together and release. So just breathing normally. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Remember, it's the buttocks you're squeezing together. Imagine you've got a pencil between the cheeks of your butt and then let go. Squeeze and release. Well done. Slowly come down and then slowly bring your knees in together. So we're going to take the ankle over the leg and then again we're going to go up into hip extension, and when you're in this position now you're going to squeeze the buttock and release. Squeeze the buttock and release. So the buttock you're squeezing is the one that's got the leg that's lifted, not the one that's crossed over. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. One more. Well done. Bring it down. What do? We bring the knees back into our chest. Oh. T'other one to do. Again, lift it up. Once you're in position, the top leg is just adding a little bit more weight to the buttock. Just squeeze the buttock and release. So when you're squeezing, try and push up as much as you can and release. And release. Keep going. Four more. Three more. Two more. One more. Bring it down. Excellent. One more to do before we go into stretching. This is the harder one. Well, it's harder because it's more what your head's trying to tell you what to do. So, tuck the chin in again. Bring it up as high as you can. I want you to squeeze and release your left buttock. Squeeze and release your right. Squeeze. Try and keep the hips as still as you can. Squeeze and release. Try and keep them as high as you can as well. Squeeze and release. squeeze and release. So it's good for the brain coordination as well. That's it. So remember, when you do a workout and your buttocks really hurt, they're also helping to keep your sacral secure as well. So what we're doing is we're isolating and working the muscles slower so that we're really getting that support network to function around the sacral and support it. A few more. 3, 2, 1. Let's bring it down. Oh, nice one, guys. So we're going to do the piriformis stretch. So the one leg goes over and you just allow it to rock up and down. So we still want everything around the area of the sacrum to be nicely stretched. If you want to close your eyes, you can. I close mine because the lights are in my eyes, so I can't be blinded by the light. Shouldn't feel too tight. Should feel like they've done a bit of work. You will. Perfect. Do the same on the other side. Cross it and rock it. Rock backwards and forwards. Keep going. Few more. So often this feels a lot tighter in the morning than it does in the evening. Now I want you to put the feet together and allow your knees to drop out to the side. So we're just opening up through the hips. Grab hold of your elbows and take your elbows over your head. Just take some nice deep breaths in and out. Well done. Just bring the legs in. Again, just rock them from side to side. So now we're going to bring ourselves up to seated. We're going to cross our legs. That's it. And come forwards, because obviously this is going to open up through the lower back and also the hips, and hopefully that little hip opener will have helped. So come forwards. And then come up. So we're going to try what's called a cow pose. Cow pose basically is trying to get your knees over each other. Doesn't really work with me either. So all I want you to do is to try and cross the one leg over, and you should really have both knees stacked over each other. For some of us it's just work in progress, and it's if that's as far as you can go, that's fine. The reason is we need to stretch the tensor fasciae lata, which attaches around your hip there, and if that's really tight, that can also pull on the sacral area as well. So get yourself where you feel comfortable. Then all you do is you come forwards, rest your body on it, and then allow gravity to do the rest of the work. Try and let go of any tension you have anywhere, and obviously the way that you want eventually is it's like you've got the cow ears sticking out that way, or pig's ears, or whatever ears you want, horns of the cow. People can call them all sorts of stuff. I've never seen a cow look like this, but there is maybe. So just come forwards and then bring it up. We're not holding it for too long. Then we can do the same with the other one. So what you do is you put the one knee down, and then do the other one and see if you can rest them down. As you can see, it's not happening with me, but that doesn't matter if it's the same with you as well. Try and have them out the same place, same way. That's it. If you can't get them over each other, that's fine. Come forwards then. Oh, this is a tight leg on me, this one. Just try and relax a little bit. Let go of any tension. If you feel tight, just talk to yourself, relax, relax, let it go. See if you can sit yourself down. Then undo yourself, that's it. Grab hold of your hands like so, pushing your knees into your elbows. This is going to stretch your upper back a bit as well. Then drop your chin onto your chest and then just come forwards and it'll stretch all down your back. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have our feet out in front like this. Same thing again. You want to grab hold of your toes and just literally come forwards and sort of rock your back a little bit so you can feel the stretch. Come back to your cross leg position. That's it. Come forwards again just to take away all the tightness. So often when you're stretching it feels like a workout. You should feel a lot looser. Come up and we do the classic coming over and stretching. And the same on the other side. Oh. And a rotation. Surprised you can't hear the dog snoring. She's out of it on the sofa. The other one's on the floor by the front. She's actually out of shot for a change. And the other way around. Back into child's pose. Stretch it out. So just put your knees where you feel comfortable. Reach forwards with your hands. Just lie your butt on your heels if you can. Have a good long stretch through the shoulders as well at this point. Come up, push your hips down. Ooh. That's it. Me and my big board of the back. Onto your hands and knees again. Tuck your tailbone under. Lift up. Tuck it under. And lift it up. Come up onto your knees and tuck our bellies back into our pants again. I'm talking about myself, not you lot. Hands behind your back. So you're going to feel that the lower back's done a little bit of a workout, but in some ways it'll feel like it's done something and it's still quite safe. But that's fine. Bring yourself up onto your feet. Good job, everybody. Let's just do a little bit of this. A little bit of moving around, because remember we were working on strengthening around the sacral area as well. So therefore, like anything, when you're working on strength work, you often can feel like your body's done quite a hard workout. Well done. Excellent job. Nice one for you to go back to, especially if your lower back's not working very well, or playing up is the word.